Right guys, good morning. I am looking to buy the pound this morning, so we're going to go ahead and place that order together. I'm going to place my stops below the low at 33.63, so roughly around a 10 pip stop loss on this move. All I'm looking for is a push higher on the pound, and we'll potentially be adding to the trade, so follow along and see how the trade plays out. Looking at that on the 5 minute time frame, all I'm doing is jumping on the back of what was a breakout. So the market broke out of this range. We've obviously come back to retest this area, hence why I'm looking to buy it again. So literally looking to target the highs there for a quick little intraday move. Then we'll review it going into the US session, whether I want to add or whether I want to just lock in gains and call it a day. So nice little volume coming back in there into the pound. Currently floating around $200 there. Looking for a push on this move. Right guys, I'm going to add a second order to this. Literally on the retest of these previous high stops at the same price. And I'm looking for 33.80. So literally just this morning's high. If I can target this morning's high, that means I've literally jumped on the back of a breakout and retest this morning. And literally looking for that continuation. Back to the upside. The dollar's been very weak recently, so this allows us to jump on the back of buying the pound on any little intraday dip that we get. And this is a dip for me. I like it, and I'm looking for that continuation. So I do think we'll obviously reject from this area and just have that push up in price. Spreads are pretty good this morning. Obviously the volume is going to kick in right now, so we should see some volatility. But I like the price action wise. I do think we'll run the high, and hence why I want to be long, because I'm looking for the market to trade higher. So overall there guys, with the two positions, we're roughly at around 650 risk, downside risk, and I'm looking for at least minimum 1,200 upside potential. And again, that is a simple 1 to 2 risk reward. If I am in a position to add to the trade while minimizing my downside risk, so I'd have to trail my stop loss, that puts us in a position to add to a winner, potential winner. We don't know yet. All right, we'll have to see how the trade plays out. If we can clear these highs, right? If we can clear these highs, just click that again. We can clear these highs, then I'm obviously fairly confident that we'll run the major high at 33.80. So stay tuned. So it is currently 8 a.m. in the morning, so that means that London volume's kicking in. You can actually see the market right now bouncing up and down. This is pure, market volatility on the open. And in my opinion, in the London session today, I expect the pound to get bought. Doesn't follow through, doesn't stop me out. That is the risk we take. So do stick around and see how the trade plays out. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. Big spike on the open there, guys. Big spike. Whew. Pretty close. Let's just check the chart on this side. I expected that volume to kick in, but the other direction. We should still follow through. I'm fairly confident, really. I don't like being confident in the markets. When you're usually confident in the markets, that's usually where you get a little bit of humble pie. But I like the price action wise there. Volume's obviously coming in. We've seen those buyers and sellers pick back up. So I do still think we'll run this high at 33.70, and then ultimately the session high at 33.80. Right, price action wise looks really good there, guys. So what we want to see right now is some sort of push above these small session highs, and ultimately target that Asian high of 33.80. So that'll be the ideal Asian session high, excuse me. There we go. Oh, volume coming back in. I knew it. So the pound getting bought this morning. Yeah, we had a bit of a scare there. At least the spreads were good. So shout out to the broker on that one. But looking for 33.75 to get cleared. If we clear 33.75, then I'm ultimately looking for a blow off the top there on price. So roughly back again to $240 floating. Looking for a push higher. If we clear these highs, I'm going to right now with you trail the risk, but I might add a third. If I can cover my first position that I'm allowed to, by rules of money management and risk management, I'm allowed to add because I've taken that risk off. So if the market does reverse, it's not going to cost me anything if it goes against me. So I can reintroduce that risk. But I have to have my initial covered. So worst case scenario, the 650 is our max loss, right? So keep that in mind. Again, I mentioned I want the pounds get bought this morning because I'm bearish on the dollar. So I expect a weaker dollar. It's a no-brainer to buy the pound. Look at that volume flushing into price there, 33.70. If I actually trail my initial risk on that first position, I can. It's a little bit late to add. I'm going to add a third position at half the risk there, guys. Placing the stops all at the same price right now. So we are covering our risk, trailing the risk as price goes. I'm expecting a blow off top of 33.80. So let it just pop in price. Currently at around $600 in profit there. So what we can see right now is almost two of my positions are risk free. So I only have that half position that I added on exposed. So my exposure is a lot less. However, I've doubled down and added to my winner. So I've trailed the risk, right, and added to my winner. And that all that does for me is minimizes my downside risk while maximizing that upside potential on the move. So let's see how it plays out. Still expecting a run on the high, 33.80. Currently eyeing up a gold position as well. Big push there on the pound. That volume, look at that, 33.80. Easy trade. Look at that. Floating 1,000 there on the position. I'd ideally like a flush and a continuation much higher. 133.90 overall upside target, but I'm not going to get greedy. I'll continue to trail the risk and see. Look at that volume. Right? Beautiful volume coming into the market. Let me stop a check. Yeah, dollar's getting sold. Right, with the dollar getting sold, it's a no-brainer to be long the pound on the open of the session. Beautiful price action, guys. $1,200 there. So technically, with my initial risk, 650, we're roughly at a 1 to 2 there. So I'm happy with that. I could close now and call it a day. And I've been at my desk for 15 minutes, right? Right, guys, I'm calling the position there. I have had 2 coffees this morning, and I have somewhere else I need to be. See you.